y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. Today is Monday, May 30th, 2022. It is Memorial Day here in the US, and this is episode 31. My name is Susan. You can find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative Podcast. If you are new here, I appreciate you checking me out, and I hope that you will enjoy what you see and like, subscribe, and do all the things. If you are returning, I appreciate you coming back and sticking with me. It's been about a month since I last did this, which is better than some previous gaps between episodes. So I do have a lot to show you this time. I will try to remember to put some timestamps below so that you can skip to the parts you're interested in, because this may be a little bit of a longer one. I always aim to be short, but then I wait too long and I have too much. So, but today primarily I've got a little bit of knitting, but mostly cross stitch and a lot of haul. So anyway, let's get on with it. In Hearsay, I have done quite a bit since I last saw you. And if you catch me looking down, I've got notes, because I would never, my brain is a sieve, I'd never remember everything I need to say. So, I mentioned last time that my friend Michelle and I were going to do the James River Yarn Crawl in Virginia, and we did do that, back the weekend of May 13th through 15th, I think it was. I had indicated that, we weren't going to try to hit all the yarn shops, but yeah, eventually my competitive spirit took over and I had to visit all 6, because they had this passport thing that you got stamped at each yarn shop. And of course, by the time we'd hit 4, I had to go to the last 2 so that I could turn that in and maybe win a big giant prize, which I didn't win as far as I know. I did win a prize from one store. So, anyway, so we did that. I'm not going to show you the yarn haul from that. We did hit 6 stores. I did buy yarn from all 6 stores, most of it from the Flying Needles in Williamsburg, which is owned by Susan Dickerson, who is the dyer behind Robin's Promise. Excuse me. Visited 6 yarn stores I'd never been to. They were all very nice. There was the Yarn Club in Virginia Beach, Baba Sheep in Norfolk, the Flying Needles in Williamsburg, Yarn Matters in Williamsburg, and then in Ashland, Virginia, which is just north of Richmond, was the Center of the Yarniverse. That's the store that I won one of their daily prizes from for the day that we went there. My ticket got drawn. And then Dances with Wool in Midlothian, Virginia, which is just a little bit kind of west of Richmond. So we drove up Friday night, spent the night in Chesapeake, started out Saturday morning at the Yarn Club in Virginia Beach. We also hit Dying to Stitch in Virginia Beach, which is a wonderful cross-stitch store that I had never been to. So I did spend some money there. You will see that in what I bought there in haul. And I'm going to show you a couple things I got on the yarn crawl that aren't yarn, the couple of bags that I bought that are just really neat. And I did take a short little video at Dying to Stitch of some of their models on the wall. So I will put that in at the very end of the video, though, rather than putting that in here. So just so that in case you want to see, and I'd make no promises about how great the video is, but I had intended to take at least a picture at every yarn shop or a short video or something, but honestly, I have a habit of just enjoying in the moment and not remembering to do that, which is a positive, in my opinion, as far as enjoying what I'm doing, but not so great for social media. So anyway, so I do have a short little video of some of the models at Dying to Stitch, which I will put in at the end of the video, hopefully, if I remember. And let's see what else. One of my grandsons had his 5th birthday a week or so ago, and we went down last weekend on Saturday for his birthday party. And we just drove down for the day and back. They had a little thing at the park with his friends and stuff, and ran around, played on the playground, and had cake and, all that fun stuff. This weekend, Saturday, I had not planned to do anything except maybe craft some and maybe get a little organized. You see this crazy mess in my craft room behind me. I feel like I ought to put a wall up so you don't see my chaos. I am, after I get back from StitchCon, I'm planning in July and probably into August to do a major reorganization of this room that's going to involve getting going to IKEA and getting a couple more things, and probably pulling almost everything out of this room and sorting through and re-putting back in. But anyway, I'm getting off track. I was going to do some other stuff Saturday and some crafting, and then my friend Michelle brought up the idea of going to Winston-Salem. There is a newish shop that's in Old Salem and Winston-Salem that is primarily a quilt shop makerspace, but she has a little bit of cross stitch, and Michelle had found it recently, so and told me about it. So we decided to drive up there Saturday, and it was a really cute little space. She had not a ton of cross stitch stuff. She had a little bit of fabric. She had quite a few patterns. She did not have floss. Like I said, she had no intention of being a store initially. She plans quilt retreats, and realized that she needed to be able to provide supplies and stuff at retreats, and so ended up opening a quilt shop, and she's just now starting to branch out into some of the cross stitch stuff. But she did go to Needlework Market in March and had bought, or was it March, April, whenever it was, and had brought some charts back from that and things like that. Excuse me. So I did buy a few charts and a little bit of fabric from her. And I may have signed up to go to one of her retreats, which I'll talk about later on in future plans. And then after that, we drove over to Greensboro to Stitch Point on Friendly, where I bought some more charts and some floss I kind of kitted up one of the charts, not fabric, because they didn't have, I did buy a little bit of fabric there, but it was 32 count, and for the one that I kitted up that I'll show you, I prefer to do that probably on at least 36 count. So I haven't looked through yet to see if I've got anything, or if I just want to wait on that. We'll see. And then yesterday, my oldest niece graduated from high school, so we did not actually go to the graduation. They did not have enough tickets, but we met them all after graduation and had dinner, a nice dinner last night to celebrate her graduating. So I got to see my brother and his wife and my 3 nieces, and my parents were there, and my sister-in-law's mother had come in from Chattanooga for the graduation. So we had a really nice dinner with them last night. So today, which is Monday, I did all my normal Sunday stuff, which I'm doing laundry. I apologize. There's the door you can't see right now. My laundry closet is right outside of that. So if you hear any banging or noises, it's my washer and dryer, and I apologize if that gets loud. I did remember to turn the buzzer on the dryer off this time, so you won't hear that buzzing. So anyway, that's all for Hearsay. Why don't we get into some of the knitting and cross stitch, and we'll start with verdicts. I only have one verdict to show you. I do have another finished knitting project, but it's part of my StitchCon small gift. So I am I've got to fully finish my StitchCon small. I was originally going to do a pillow, and I've decided instead to make, since it's seasonal, to make it a flat fold. And so I had to order a couple things off Amazon that should be here by Wednesday. So I will get that finished later this week. And when I get that done and get everything done for the package, I will do a short little video for that, so that after StitchCon I can insert that in a future video and you'll see all that. But the only other thing I have to show as a verdict is my, what's this month? April Desert Vista Dye Work socks, which you saw almost finished last time. The colorway is Big Magic. There is a little sparkle in there. I don't know if, yeah, you can see a little bit. The light hits it. These are for me, of course. And I knit all my socks on US 0.2mm needles, 2 at a time, toe up, with Fish Lips Kiss Heel. So that is my only verdict. So we'll get into Court is in Session, and we'll start with the knitting, because there's less of that. My May socks, which today is May 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st, which is the last day of the month, so I've got to get these finished. I really need to get them finished today, because I think tomorrow is going to be a really busy day at work, so I probably won't have any time to finish them tomorrow night. I may even be working late. I'm doing this month's Desert Vista Dye Works out of the colorway that's called War of the Worlds. I have turned the heels and started on the legs. I intend to make these, one of my husband's coworkers, who I know as well, we've been teasing, and he said he wanted some socks, so I told him I'd make him some crazy socks. I figured these are bright and colorful, but also kind of manly. I teased him that I was going to make these for him with the glitter and the pink, except that I like these too much to give them away, even as a joke. So my plan is for these to be for Jose, except that I need to make the legs a little longer for his, and so it really depends on whether or not I can get that done today and finished by tomorrow. If I don't get them as long as I think he wants, he doesn't want them, I don't think, super long. He probably wants them maybe just a little bit longer than that. Although that's a little longer than I normally make, so maybe that might be enough. I don't know. Anyway, if I can get them, when I get them done, I will offer them to him. If they're not tall enough for him, then I'll make the next pair for him, and hopefully not be pushing the last minute to get them finished in time. And I think I said that was War of the Worlds colorway. So here's my socks. I am also working on the Rami Hill 2022 Mystery Shawl, which is called Time Heals. I'm knitting this on US 4 3.5 millimeter needle in McMullen Fiber Company's MCN Merino Cashmere Nylon blend, in Côte d'Azur, which is the blue-green, and Pink Canyon, which is the pink canyon color. I have finished Clue 4. I'm getting ready to start Clue 5. Clue 5 came out like a week ago Friday, so I'm not too far behind. I don't really have this on a very long needle, so I'm trying to figure out where to spread it out so you can kind of see. So, you've got some big kind of leaf motifs going into that, which is also, that's the top of kind of another, bottom sort of kind of another leaf motif. Clue 5 is the last clue, so there's, I'm not sure how many rows, 10 or 15, maybe 20 more rows to go. So I had originally hoped to finish that this month, but work has been a little busier than I anticipated, so I just haven't had as much time to craft as I'd like. I will probably take that and whatever my June socks are with me to StitchCon, just as something to knit on. Trying to decide what projects to take to StitchCon has been difficult, and I'm still making decisions. So the only other thing I've really knit on is my high-low temperature cowl for 2022. I have not done the last week, so this is through the 21st, Saturday the 21st. And as you can see, let me do this, see if I can do this without putting stitches off. We're getting into higher temps. We had the orangish colors are the hotter. So this pattern is by Victoria Myers. I'm knitting it out of my Fiber Studio at Yarn Today for 2020 Advent Minis. And the knit stitches are the high temperature of the day. The purl stitches are the low temperature of the day. As you can see, we got into some hotter temperatures. We actually got into the high 80s for a bit. I don't think we've crossed over 90 yet, but we have, no, we did cross over 90 because I've had to put some 90 to 95s in there. So that darkest orange is the 90 range. And then I have more of a red for anything over 96 degrees. If by chance we go over 100, I don't have anything planned for that, but if we go over 100, I will add another color somehow that probably won't be red. It will probably be something very different, as like a, what the hell did we do? You know, we got hot. and oh my God, it's over 100 color. I don't know what it'll be yet. So anyway, so that is all the knitting I've worked on. Now it's time for all the cross stitch, and there's a lot of it, some of which has a lot of work, and some of it's just a little bit more I did since the last time I showed you. So first I'll show you my temperature bookshelf cross stitch. This is just the high temperature. This is in a bag by XStitch Creates with Sock Monkeys. This pattern is from Christie's Corner. I'm doing it on 36 count Jody fabric from Jody from the Steel City Stitchers. And this is where I am. This is the May bookshelf. So I finished April. I don't think I had that little rain shower thing in last time I showed this. I'm not sure. This is May, again, through the 21st. I have not, I normally work on this on Sundays, but yesterday, since it was my niece's graduation and everything, I just didn't get around to it. So I will probably next weekend try to catch up for 2 weeks right before I go to StitchCon, because I know StitchCon weekend I probably will not get caught up. If I don't get more than 2 weeks behind, I can usually do it just fine. So anyway, so as you can see, the oranges, we got into some high temps there. And let's see, I think I said everything about that. Just throwing stuff down. Next is Halloween Quaker, which is in a bag by Creative Carol Designs. She's on Etsy. Halloween bag for Halloween Quaker. I showed this last time, and I did, actually, hopefully in there when I showed you temperature bookshelf, I put in a picture where it was last time. I will put in a picture of Halloween Quaker, what it will look like when I finish. And then I will put in a picture of where it was last time. I don't know, I can't remember how much more I did. I did work on this a little bit more after I showed it last time. This was a April Whip Go call, and my goal for it for the year was 2,000 stitches, and I have met that goal. So that's where it is. You can see I've started a little bit of that moon. Got those bats in. I don't think I had the bats last time, but you'll be able to tell from whatever picture I showed. I am doing this on 40 count fiber on a whim in Heather with all of the called for flosses. I may have mentioned this last time, but I can't remember, so I'll say it again anyway. This motif right up here was supposed to be, I think, in 310 or either in this right here. Sorry, I'm using my middle finger, didn't mean to. I had another purplish floss that I had pulled in case this smoke was blended into the fabric too much. The smoke worked fine, but so I decided to use that other one that I had pulled, which I think is a forbidden, no, it's not a forbidden fiber, it's a Fiberlicious, up here just to break up some of the black a little bit. So it's just a little bit, another muted kind of dark purplish color. Next is one of my May Whip Go calls was O Feathers. This is in another Lynn XStitch Creates bags. This is one of her quarterly bags from last year. Has just a yellow on the inside. This is what O Feathers looks like. And I am doing this in the called for sulky. There's a sulky pack for it. I showed you this last time, and I was very close already. This was one of my spins for April, so I'd already been working on it. And so it was very early in May that I actually finished my Whip Go goal for this, which was 2,000 stitches. So this is where it was last time you saw it. Sorry, my bag's trying to fall off my lap. And this is where I am now. So I did get to my Whip Go goal for the year for this. And since it has been called for Whip Go and on my spin, I might get back to it again this year, but it will not be as high on the priority list because of other goals I haven't met yet. So my other May Whip Go call was Quarantine Cats, which is Heaven and Earth Designs. Oh, I forgot to mention O Feathers is just on 36 count antique white Zweigart. I'm sorry, I hop all over the place. Welcome to my non-linear brain. So anyway, my other May Whip Go call was Quarantine Cats, which is Heaven Earth Designed, artwork by Bridget Ashwood. I'll put a picture in here of what it will look like when it's finished. It also was one of my spins for May, which means both of the calls for the year were both in May. My goal for this for WIP goes 5,000 stitches. I am not, sorry, it's hung up. Got caught up. I had hoped to get all 5 of those in this month, since both the WIP Go call and the spin were this month. It's probably not going to happen. I'm close to 4,000 done, but not going to quite get to 5,000 this month, but I'll get it finished. I mean, I will get it done this month. Here's what it looked like at the beginning of the year, probably, because I don't think I've worked on this at all this year before now. And here's where I am. So you can see the curtains. You can start to see really the bird cage. So my husband came in the other night when I was working on this, and he was like, "Oh, I like this and stuff." He's like, "That's going to be a pretty picture. You know, what, are you almost done on that?" I'm like, no. And I pulled up the PDF and showed him what the full picture looked like. And I was like, this is just that tiny little corner. I was like, it's going to take years. I have all the stuff for this in a bag. I think I showed you this when I got it. It's a two pocket bag, and has a pocket out here. It's by, I think, Allegria. It's fun. Allegro Stitches. I got it off of Betsy. Let's see. And then my other May spin was the Snow Queen by Mirabilia, which looks like this. My goal for this for the year, I think, is 2,000 stitches. I have this in another Lynn XStitch Creates bag. I don't remember if this was a quarterly bag or if I just bought this one from her. But anyway, here's where it was the last time you saw it, which I think was the beginning of the year. And here's where I am. I think my goal for this for the year is 2,000 stitches. I got a little over 1,000 in it the week that I worked on it, which was just this past week. So I had before, when you saw from the picture, I think just down to about here of this light, all this light blue. And so I finished that and I added all that. So got that. So that was all my May WIP Go and spins and all of that. I also worked a little bit on Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow in the Zoom with Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. Here's a picture of what Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow looks like completely. I have this in a bag from the Brass Button. I can't remember. I've worked on this quite a bit. Was this one of my, I think this was also one of my April calls, so I showed it to you last time. So I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it. I can't remember how much of this I had done when I recorded last. So I think I had started the second block when I recorded last, but I'm not positive. I finished the first one. I've started the second one. There is some, it's not white. It's, I can't remember if I talked about this last time. It calls for a thread gatherer color that I didn't have, but I found this Forbidden Fiber Snowdrift that has just a slight hint of blue and looks like, and I think it's going to work well. So, I think since I last showed you this, I think I did this up here and maybe a little bit more down here. I'm not 100% sure how much I did since I last showed you. Flip the page of my notes. Okay, and then May, of course, is what some people call mania. I like to call it mayhem. And I do not do a full mayhem. I don't start 20 or 30 things or whatever. What I generally do is start something new every Saturday. This year, the 1st of May was on a Sunday, and I did do a start that Sunday because of a stitch along or start along with Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. So I'm going to show you my May starts now. The first start that I did is in a, this was the first quarterly bag this year for Lynn XStitch Creates. And this is a stitch along that Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough is doing. A Tisket, a Tasket from Rosewood Manor. This was a Nashville release. And I am doing this with all of the called for Week Style Works floss. These colors are totally my wheelhouse. And I am doing it on a 36 count Bestitch Me in Not Another Sampler. And so here's where I've gotten. And this is a lot of color changes in this. So there are some people that work like one motif and all the colors in it and then move on. I can't stand to change my needle that long, so I'll start with one color in the motif, and then if there's thread left, I'll hop over to some other motif that has that color and finish my thread. So that's why you kind of see like the fill-in of those diamonds stops there and the fill-in of the white stops down here, because I'm working on these motifs going this way and this way, and then as I finish thread, if it's not needed up here, I go over here, and that's like why I'm, you know, got this little curly Q here, because that was the only place left on my page that I could fit on. There's more to the page down here, but because I do an 8x14, I'm not going to be able to finish the bottom of this page. I will probably work across into the second page and probably as far across as I can in the pattern before I move the Q-snap and either go down. At that point, I probably will go all the way across so I can finish across the top and then start working my way down. So I really love that pattern. And I enjoy stitching on it because I like the colors, make me happy. So the next Saturday, which was what, the 7th, I guess, of May, I started another market release. This is in another bag by Creative Carol Designs. This is with the Teresa Kogut fabric with more of it inside, which was fitting because this is a Teresa Kogut pattern. This is Let Love Rain. I will put a picture here of the actual full design. There is one in here, but I'm not going to, it's easier to throw a picture up on the screen than, than to open that book and find it. So I am doing this with all the called for. I'm doing it on 40 count Zweigart flax. This is going to be quite a big piece, as you can see. So fold that so you can see better. That's all I've done on that. Really like the colors in that. I might, I have the called for colors. I plan to do it in the called for colors, which are mostly DMCs, but a couple of weeks. There's Onyx and Oscar, which are weeks, which I have put on. This is how I do most of my flosses with these, and I put masking tape and I write. If it's in Pattern Keeper, I don't necessarily write the symbol, but if I'm using Markup RXP, I will write the symbol on the masking tape so that I don't have to keep looking at my key on Markup RXP, because it doesn't, if it's a DMC color, it has it in it, but if it's a overdyed, there's not a way to indicate what the overdyed is. So anyway, but I also, so this is the blue that's used in it. And while the pattern to me looks like it has a decent amount of blue, this is the only blue that's in it. The rest of it is all these tans and greens, and which are pretty, but I'm a blue person. So I picked up 3 other DMC blues that I've put on my card here. A darker one and 2 kind of lighter shades that as I go, I may pull in some of those. And I'll just decide as I go what to do with that, to maybe just add a little more blue to it. And then the weekend of May 14th, we were at James River Yarn and Crawl. And so for that one, I started a little Mill Hill kit because that was easy and portable. This is Mill Hill Reindeer Chorus. Didn't get a lot of stitching done that weekend, but I did get a little bit done. So that's all let me put something behind that. That's all I've done, which is this guy right here singing. So that's as far as I've gotten on that. And I've got that actually in a little knitting project bag that I actually made a few years ago. Let's see. And then the next Saturday, which would have been what, the 21st? Yes. I started Kringles. Whoop, sorry about hitting myself in the eye. Kringles by Little House Needleworks. Is that right? Yeah, Little House Needleworks. I kitted this up over a year ago. Brenda from Handwork Maniac. Is it Handwork Maniac? Is that right? Yeah. Was working on it, and I just really liked it, but I just never got around to getting it started. It's interesting to me because that picture makes it look like a tan fabric, but I'm doing this on the called for, which is more of a gray to me, but that's fine with me. I'm more of a gray than a brown person, so I just hope it looks okay. I am doing this on the called for 30 count Legacy Fiber Arts Parisian Gray with all of the called for floss. And I just started at the top of the house, and that's as far as I've gotten. See if I can get, so you can see the shading on the roof. This actually stitches up pretty quick. I have this one in another Lynn XStitch Creates bag, Christmas. I know I just bought this one from her off of Instagram. This one's not a quarterly bag. And then my last Mayhem start, I just started Saturday. Excuse me. I wasn't sure I was going to start another one, but I decided to go ahead. And I started this in part as something to take to StitchCon because I think it is full coverage, but it's not huge full coverage, and it's a little more blocks of color full coverage, so I thought it might be okay, easy enough to stitch on and while I'm chatting and stuff. This is another Lynn XStitch Creates bag. This was one of the quarterly bags last year. I don't remember if it was fall. I think it was fall. This is Blue Ridge, which I bought off of XStitch.com. I'm gonna put a picture of what it'll look like when it's done. The artwork is based on, the artwork is done by Derek McCrae. And then I guess XStitch.com charted it. And I'm doing this on 25 count Lugana Easy Grid. And as you can see from the piece of fabric, on 25 count, I'm doing this 25 count 1/1. That is the entire width of it. I have gotten all the way across. I'll bring this closer in a second, but I have gotten all the way across the top of it. Which is a little less than 7 inches, and it's going to be about 9 inches tall. So that's what I've done so far up in the sky. And of course, you know, the Blue Ridge Mountains run through North Carolina, and it's where I want to eventually live. So I just thought it would be fun to do. Anyway, so that is all for the Quarters in Session. On the docket, the June Whip Go calls have been done. My June Whip Go calls are Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower, which I'm real excited to get back to. My other Whip Go, and my goal for that for the year is 3,000 stitches. My other Whip Go call for June, and also one of my spins for June, is Dancer by Barbara Anna Designs, which was in the winter issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. Is that the name? I think that's right. Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. My goal for that for the year is a finish. I am doing a sulky conversion for that and have not gotten extremely far. So ideally, since it's both a Whip Go call and a spin this month, I will finish that this month. That is one thing I'm probably going to take to StitchCon, because it's a smallish project, and so with the sulky, you know, I'd use one thread, and hopefully I can maybe get that done. I don't know that I'll get it done at StitchCon, but hopefully I can get it done this month, or at least close to it. And then my other spin for the month is the Wool Shop, which is a Heaven and Earth Designs project that I started last year with artwork by, I didn't write down the artwork. Is it Donna? I think it's artwork by Donna Gelsinger, but I'm not positive. You'll see that next time. I'm not even going to put pictures of those in here. I'm just kind of letting you know what I'm working on. So anyway, so now it's time to get to stashing for retirement, and there's a lot of that. So couple of, before I forget, because I have notes here before I get into the actual physical haul, I did buy a few digital patterns that I want to tell you about, and I will put pictures of them up as I go. I bought the American Trilogy set from Twin Peaks Primitive. It's 3 charts, which is Lady Liberty, Philadelphia, it's something, I can't remember the exact name of it. I didn't write the name down of the 3 individual patterns. And then Shores of Freedom. Pam from Just Keep Stitching is starting a stitch along for these starting July 1. She has a Facebook group for that. There's more. She's talked about it a couple times on her floss tube, which again is Just Keep Stitching. I will try to remember to put a link to that below. Also try to remember to link Stitching Land Good Enough, which I've mentioned a couple times. I'm really bad about doing the links to the floss tubes. I will try to, sorry about that. I'll try to remember to do it. You can always tangent. You can always email me, leave me a comment or whatever and ask me, and I will be glad to tell you whatever I didn't tell you. She's starting a stitch along for that July 1. Any of the 3 patterns, all the 3 patterns. I am going to start Lady Liberty. I have bought all the floss. I haven't decided on fabric yet. I might use one of these I bought that I'm going to show you, or I might get some at StitchCon. We'll see. And then Modern Folk Embroidery has released a pattern for June for Pride Month, and I really wanted that, so I bought that. And of course, can't just buy, you know, even digitally, but pattern can't travel alone. So I went ahead and so I bought that. Show you a picture of that here. The picture that I'll show you is on like a pink fabric. I haven't decided. He has a picture of it up on white fabric, and I like the way the colors pop a little more on the white, but I'm not sure I want to do it on stark white. I might look to see if I can find either a really light blue, like Carolina blue, or maybe a lighter pink than he shows the picture on. Something with some bright color that's not as bright compared to the gloss, if that makes any sense. I will not get that started June 1st, but I probably will start that sometime in the next couple of months or so. So anyway, when I was buying that, I went ahead and bought a couple of things I had on my wish list with him. I bought Spirits of the Dead, which is one of his Dark Crosses charts that's been out for a little while. I am still undecided whether I'm going to do this as the picture that I'm showing you, or whether I'm going to do, he has also charted it where it's reversed, so you can do it on dark fabric with lighter thread and use some of the negative space. So I haven't decided which way I want to do that. I also bought Ruskin's Penguins, picture here, because that's just too cute. And then one of his more recent ones, Under the Stars, is really pretty, and I just really like that one, so I bought that. The last 2, I don't know. I don't know when I'll start those, if it will be anytime soon or not. So let me show you the physical haul, and we're at not quite 40 minutes. So hopefully I'm not talking too fast. If I race through this too much, again, if you have any questions, let me know, but I'm going to try to get close to an hour on this, no more, so we'll see. So one of the bags that I bought at James River Yarn Crawl that I want to show you, I bought this at Dances with Wool in Midlothian, Virginia. They had a lot of bags made by this person. I know there's a tag, Daisy Said. So there's the tag for the maker. We were trying to see if I can get this out. There's gonna be a little crinkling, sorry. Trying not to crinkle too much. We were in Virginia Beach, and sorry, we we're in Norfolk at Baba Sheep, and we went to a little place next door to have lunch, and there were some other ladies there who were knitters and stuff, and one of them had this bag in like a yellow and told me she had bought it at Dances with Wool, because they had started on the other end of the yarn crawl from where we were starting. So Dances with Wool was the last shop that we went to, and as soon as we got there, I immediately made a beeline for the bags to see if they had any more. So anyway, this is just hilarious to me. Well, that's the back again. Let me show you the front. And let me move the handle. I'm not doing real good at my Vanna here. It says, I may look calm, but in my head, I've pecked you 3 times. And this, let me see if I can back up a little bit to show you. So this is a pretty good bag. It has the framing at the top so that it will stay open. It has 2 rows of pockets here, and even, I don't know if I can show you, that curves around the sides. So there's like 8 pockets basically in there. And then it closes and zips. And I also like the fact that it has a double zipper, so it can zip to the middle. And you know, the handles are long enough to sling over your shoulder. So I'm pretty sure this is going to get packed with some stuff for StitchCon. So I really, really liked that bag. I have another bag, but I'll show you that one. It's also got haul in it, so I'll show you that when I get to that. Let's see, a couple, I don't know that this is going to be in any really great order. I'll try to show you my club stuff first. I joined Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. She owns a shop that she just opened in November in North Attleboro, Maine, called Stitch New England. And she has just started some floss clubs for Week Style Works, Classic Color Works, and I think she's got one for, I don't know if it's MPI. She's got a silk one I didn't join, but maybe one more. But anyway, I joined the Weeks and the Classic Color Works, and I got my first shipment of that. So she is doing them both alphabetically, so I'm not gonna go through all of these, but here's the weeks, starting with the A's. So you know, there's no themed color palette because it's basically alphabetically, which is a great to me because it just builds up my stash. And then Classic Color Works again, starting with 12 grain. Oh, didn't realize that was 12 grain. Awesome. I just got another thing that I'll show you that they had to substitute something else for 12 grain, so I might use that in that. This is Classic Color Works. Again, 12 grain and then A's. So no themed color. In the interest of time, I'm not going to show you every single one of those because, you know, that just takes a while. I got my Forbidden Fiber for floss for May. I will show you these real quick. Eggplant, Sapphire, Capital, Grape Soda, Lacewing, Magnetic Mahogany, Lemon Curd, Rose Hip, Stormy Skies, One of a Kind number 10, Tribute, and One of a Kind number 6. So that club, it's $30 a month, and you get 12 flosses, 10 from her regular collection and 2 One of a Kinds. And then I also got my Coloring Cotton. I get the 5 all colors. This is the May. And again, I'm not going to take those out of the pack. I think, let's see if I can do that enough without glare. You got a blue, dark indigo. And these are usually a little more color themed to the season and stuff. Couple of things I ordered from Carla at Cobweb Corner. Helen D, East Coast Crafter on Instagram, Helen D on YouTube. Works a lot with Carla from Cardboard Corner, and she had a discount code. I don't know if it's still valid or not. Go over and check out Helen D. I'll try to remember to link her there. Here. This is Heartstring Samplery Next Door. It says, I wish you lived next door. Just thought it was cute. Silver Creek Samplers Fly By Night. I think this was a market release that I decided not to get, and then I talked myself into it. This one is Old Glory by Rosewood Manor. What's the date on this? 2012, but I had never seen this before, and I really liked just a bunch of different versions of the flag. I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I will do this as it's written. It says, this says From Sea to Shining Sea, and then there's 2 verses in there that are hard to read. Let me see if I can read them. I pray to heaven to bestow the best of blessings on this house and all that shall inhabit it. May none but honest and wise ever rule under this roof. John Adams. And then it has the beginning of the Gettysburg Address. Just the 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Abraham Lincoln. And it says, let freedom ring, and home of the brave, and has 1776 on it. I don't know that I will do the whole thing. I might do it more in a few little smalls or something. Like I could see doing the Gettysburg Address quote and one of the flags, figure out whichever flag is, fits that time period and doing that or something like that. But I just liked it. So my Bestitch Me, sorry, there's gonna be a little crinkling because I want to take this out. Bestitch Me fabric for, I think this is April. Where is the, sorry, I can't. I like these plastic bags with the self-adhesive sometimes, but sometimes it's hard to find the edge. Sorry for the crinkling. I should have taken this out ahead of time. I think this was April. It's Rainy Day, which is right in my wheelhouse. I love this. I get 36 count linen from her, fat quarter. When we did go to James River Yarn Crawl, the last shop we went to, Dances with Wool, right around the corner was a quilt shop that was going out of business. And I was good. I did not buy any fabric. My friend Michelle that went with me is she's getting into a little bit of cross stitch. She used to knit a lot. She doesn't knit as much anymore, but she's does a lot more quilting now. So I did not buy any fabric, but they did have this little dimensions kit on sale for half off. Welcome to Group Therapy. I just thought it was cute. So I may make that up at some point for like a gift for somebody as a housewarming, if they have a bar or something like that. I think I found this on eBay. Yes, I found this on eBay. So I don't know, I'm not going to, I will put a picture here of, a mid-Amish life. They're, Blitz Stitch, he just finished this not so long ago. It is a pattern that was originally in Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. It's a triptych, so it's in 3 separate patterns, but that can be done all as one big pattern, or you can do it in 3 separate ones. And it was originally in Cross Stitch and Country Crafts in 1987. It also apparently has been reprinted in a book that I think is like Best of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts or something. It's a big piece. It's basically full coverage. I don't know why, but I love it. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I actually found on eBay somebody selling all 3 of the Cross Stitch and Country Craft magazines for a very reasonable price. So I bought, these are the 3 magazines from 1987 that have the 3 parts of that pattern in it. So I bought those, and like I said, I'm not going to open those, but I put a picture here what the pattern will eventually look like. Okay, so Dying to Stitch in Virginia Beach, Virginia, is a wonderful cross stitch shop if you ever have a chance to go up there. The ladies that own it are also the dyers behind R&R Reproduction Fabrics, and do some designing under another name that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll be able to tell you in a minute when I show you something. So I got, sorry, these are still in the paper bags because I needed to show you first the fabric. I figure, you know, if you're at the home of R&R Reproductions fabric, you need to buy some R&R Reproductions fabric. I got, oh, these 3 flosses are for one of the patterns I bought. I'll show you. So I got, let's see, there we go. What's the tag on this one? This is 40 count French vanilla. All of these are R&R. So 40 count French vanilla. Some of these are kind of odd sizes because if they, you know, depending on how big the piece was, if it was an odd cut, sometimes I just took the whole cut, and sometimes this is 40 count Barb's Blend. I'm trying to build up, I'm drawn to colors, but I need a little bit more neutral stash. So I'm not going to unfold this one because this one's about 3/4 of a yard, but this is just a very good neutral with a little bit more of a gray undertone. Not sure that my light's going to show that. I got 36 count Abecedarian. This is just a fat quarter. And then I got Brenda's Brew. This is kind of an odd cut, so I'm not sure exactly. I'd probably get several pieces out of this. I'm not sure how big the biggest one would be. A little bit. There's one 10 by 12 and one 14 by 22 is how she measured it, although it's still in one big piece. So not quite a fat quarter on one piece and not quite a fat 1/8 on the other. So 36 count Brenda's Brew, but this is all they had there, so I went ahead and took it because that's just another good neutral. So those are the fabrics I bought, and then quite a bit of these cute little red gingham-like bags. Okay, in no particular order. I am not much as a sampler person, but I've seen this online and I was debating it, and they had the book there, and so I just went ahead and caved and bought it. GH 1857. There's not a real, it has more than the one, it has a couple of smalls in here too. This is what the whole sampler looks like, although that's, you know, a graphic, not an actual photograph. So, but I'm a little undecided on the whole kind of faded blending into it. I love the colors of it. I don't know. I don't know. This may be something I've just collected. I don't know if I'll ever do it. We'll see. Teresa Kogut came out with another book, Broad Stripes and Bright Stars, that since I like patriotic stuff, I really wanted, so I bought that. I think that front cover has most of everything on it. The one that I really wanted was this one right here, and I don't know if you can see in that picture that the white is not stitched, but there is a, let's see if there's a better picture in here, kind of an argyle-like stitch going across the top of it. That just gives it a neat effect to make it, yeah, Grand Old Flag. Let's see if this picture, I don't know if that will show it better. You can kind of see, if you look on the red, you kind of see the what looks like a zigzag, but that it's actually diamonds that go into the white portion. That's the one that I like the most, but I really liked the whole book, so I got that. So the design name that they use at Dying to Stitch is Crown and Thistle. And they had, this is something that if I had just seen this pattern in this picture, I probably would not have picked up. I do like Quakers, but I probably just wouldn't have picked this one up. But they had a model up on the wall that convinced me. And this is called Quaker Seasons of Friendship. I haven't decided. It's not Christmassy. There's some elements in it that have Christmas, but there's also like a lobster and a seahorse and all just some reindeer looking things and a bunny and there's all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. This is something that I probably will do monochrome, kind of like a long dong sampler or something. But I haven't decided what color I'll do it in eventually. Cricut Collection October is something I had on my wish list, but I got home and realized I had already bought it. And it was even in my Stitch app. I just didn't look, but because I had it written on my wish list and just hadn't taken it off. So I now have 2 copies of this. So at some point in the future, that will be a giveaway. I don't know. I may have to, maybe I'll set a subscriber goal, and if y'all help me reach it, I'll give it away. Right now, I kind of feel like, on one hand, I feel like, well, if you're subscribing and you're watching, that your odds are good because I don't have a whole lot of you. But the last time I did a giveaway, only one of you entered. So, which I was more than happy to give that prize to that person because they did enter. But I don't know. So anyway, another Cricut collection that I had never seen before, but they had a sample on the wall, and I saw that and I'm like, I want that, is Sleepy Hollow. And it's done on here as like a triptych, but they had it, their model was, all one, and that's what I would do. And the called for fabric is 30 count R&R reproduction. I actually didn't realize that until we had left, or else I probably would have gotten the called for fabric. But this is another pattern that I just had on my wish list that I had actually been looking online for recently, and everybody was out of stock. So when they had it, I went ahead and bought it. Rosewood Manor and a Forest Grew. I just really like that. I don't know, that may get started sometime before the end of the year, but what may hold me up is I will change the quote in the middle. The quote in the middle says, or the saying in the middle says, "And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good food." I think it says good food. So good food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Yeah, it is good. That is pleasant to the sight and good food. That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I'm not big on religious quotes. I'm not anti-religious. I just don't have a lot of religious stuff in my home. But so I will probably change. And there's another quote down in the corner that says, "He that plants trees loves others besides himself." That I might keep. I like that sentiment. I was trying to see. Yeah, it has a couple. Oh yeah, it has a little needle book in it too. Where's the, oh, there it is. A needle book and a fob. Just got a pattern for in it too, but I probably won't make those. Although I could use them as smalls, we'll see. So, they had this was a Nashville pre-order a lot of places, and I didn't pre-order it, or wasn't fast enough to pre-order it, and it's been out of stock. But they actually had the whole kit, the cross stitch collector by the Primitive Hair, with the floss, and I mean not the floss, the fabric and the buttons. That's what this floss is for. And they had the board that it goes on. So that will probably get started before long. I don't know when, but they also had the Nashville Needlework Market Cookbook, which has just a lot of cute little smiles on it. My favorite, I think, is from Dirty Annie's Southern Style, A Note from Jolene. You can have him Jolene. I don't want to hold that too close, but because it's actually just the chart. But I thought that was funny. There's a blue flower that's one of her squirrels. It looks like holding a, what is the name of that? She does a recipe for cranberry salsa. I don't see a name for the pattern, but it's a squirrel with like a drink with an umbrella in its hand. There's a blackbird design in here. Just a lot of cute little smalls that I wanted. And then the other thing that I got there is, I've mentioned before, I like blackbird designs, but it's not a gotta buy it for me in all cases. It's not hit or miss. It's just some of their designs I really like, and others I'm just kind of like, well, it's pretty, but it's just not really my thing. This is a series from a few years ago. Let's see if I can figure out what year it's from. 2019. That I had seen individually, and while it's kind of my color palette, I was like, oh, okay. But then I was watching somebody on Flosstube, and I can't remember who was working on this, doing it all as one, and I decided I loved it. So I had looked online, but it's like this place there's 9 of them, I think. This place had, 5 of them, but not the other 4. And I was going to have to, whatever. They had a full set, so I bought it. It's Blackbird Designs, the Loose Feather series for the birds. It's Spring Fever. The Light, I can't read backwards, sorry. The Light Upon the Lawn. She Sights a Bird. All the Hills Echoed. Sing a Song of Seasons. Pleasure of the Fleeting Year. I really like that one. Hear the Crickets Sing. The Summer Beaming Forth. And The Last Ripe Berries. So I will eventually do those all as one on one piece of fabric in a 3x3 grid, I think. So that is everything from Dying to Stitch, but that's not all of the stashing for retirement. I have another bag. Where's my other bag? So this is another bag I bought at the James River Yarn Crawl. I bought this at Yarn Matters in, well, let me get everything out of it. Bought this at Yarn Matters in Williamsburg. Sorry for, I've just put the top of my head in the camera. I'm sorry about that. And it's by a local quilter maker. And I just loved it. So this is like tweed. This is wool. The outside is wool. It is got a good thick quilting, lined with just cotton, quilter's cotton. It's got a single pocket inside, and then this applique heart, and these are wool locks that are like stitched on, and the little felt face and legs and stuff. And this is made by, I had a card for her that I thought was in here. It may be in the stack I just pulled out. She's got a little logo thing on here, but it doesn't have her name on it, so I can't remember the name of who made it. But anyway, and it's got a little elasticized loop that comes over the button. So anyway, I just thought that was adorable. So I got that. And let's see what else we've got stash. In no particular order. I ordered Southern Stitchers, which is a needlework shop in Virginia, did a Memorial Day floss pack that I pre-ordered. And it's Classic Colorworks. So this is the pack. This came just the other day. And this is the one that I said originally was supposed to have 12 grain in it, and they substituted, I can't remember which one that's in here that's not supposed to be. So you got 2 yellowy gold, GL gold, and queen bee. A couple of kind of whites, khaki mocha, and bamboo. A couple of blues, blue corn, deep blue sea, and wavy navy. And 3 reds, licorice red, bandana, and ribbon red. I think the ribbon red is what we got instead of the 12 grain. So you got, you know, very patriotic palette. And I'm already over an hour. Sorry. Told you it was going to be long. That's going to have to be moved. Let's see what else I got. Oh, I got my Rogue Stitching. I do the Fabric of the Month and Floss of the Month with them. This month, sorry for the crinkle, the fabric is Palomino from Atomic Ranch Fabrics, which is just a very neutral. This is, I think, 36 count. Yeah, 36 count fat quarter. That's the light's washing it out. It's got a little more tan to it, but I can't. It's definitely more tan than that's showing. I can't get it to show, but if you've ever seen a Palomino horse, it's kind of that color. And then the floss this time was Weeks Dye Works. So I got, I think it's 8 or 10 skein in the Weeks. Just in various colors. There's not, doesn't seem to be like a color theme. Butterscotch. Sorry. Blackberry. This, I love this. Terrapin. Aqua. Lemonade. Mascara. Good basic. That's kind of their basic blackish. Meredith's Pink. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. It's hard to read some of these. Tatanka, which is kind of a brown, so like a chocolatey brown, and navy. So those. I got my Crazy Annie April Classic Colorworks finally. I had to think what month this was because they're so far behind. I've paid for May, but I think I'm done, because they're just always so far behind. And now I'm getting Classic Colorworks from Pam, and getting, this is like 6 skeins, and I'm getting, I think, 10 from Pam. So Cinnamon Toast, Pine Needle, Milady's Teal, Crab Cakes, Fool's Gold, and Prairie Grass are what their Aprils. So I think, like I said, I've paid for May. I think I'm not going to renew after this. Sorry, I'm trying to see what this is. Oh, this. No. Sorry. Hold on. I have my socks that I finished sitting here. And the zipper on this bag snagged on the bind off on my sock. There it goes. I can fix that. Not a big deal. Didn't break any thread. Victoria Sampler, is that the right name? The Victoria Sampler. She decided, I think end of last year, she was going to retire, and she hasn't completely shut down, but I think they've been going through their inventory and creating up what kits and accessory packs they can out of their stock and stuff. And so they had this one up, the Victoria Sampler Stitching Witches. And I bought the hard copy pattern, even though I prefer PDF, but I also bought the PDF pattern because I prefer to work from PDF. But I wanted to have the hard copy for now. And then after I stitch it, I will probably give away or sell the hard copy pattern. But when I stitch it, I don't know. And then I bought the accessory packs for that have the floss and the beads and stuff like that. So I got that from the Victoria Sampler directly. I have, for the past year and a half, at least, belong to the Gecko Rouge Gold Club, which you basically pay 10 euros a month, and then at the end of 6 months you basically get a voucher. You basically get the 60 euros you've paid towards a kit, but in the meantime you also get discounts on stuff, and you get first dibs at some things and stuff like that. I got my most recent voucher. I've decided to stop the Gold Club for now, not because I don't love their kits, but because I now have several of their kits, only one of which I have started. So you get the voucher after 6 months, and you really only have 6 months to spend it, and you know, so I just need to cut back on that. It's not that I won't buy any more Gecko Rouge kits ever, but anyway, so I got the one that I bought with my last voucher, which is Beach Flowers, based on artwork by Rosanna Bell. Gecko Rouge is a kit only, so they license artwork with the artist, and then they send you fabric and floss and everything. So I got that. And then I think, so Saturday, as I mentioned, Michelle and I went to Salem Stitches and then Stitch Point. So I'll show you what I got there. So Salem Stitches, make sure I got everything out of there. I got 2 pieces of fabric. Sorry for any crinkling. They had a little bit of Fabrics by Stephanie, and this is 32 count linen in Angel Wing, which is a very, very, very light blue, gray. You can't really see the color that well. I mean, there's not a lot of color. It's a very, very light gray with a henna blue. Because I gravitate towards 36 and 40 count, I have a lot more of that than I do the lower counts, and so I'm trying to build up a little bit of a stash of, like, say 32 count, just because some projects, you know, if it has beads or something, I need 32 count, and sometimes I tend to go for bigger projects, which means I want to do higher count to make the projects not so big physically, but every once in a while you get something smaller that you actually want to be a decent size. So anyway, so that's a fat quarter of that. And then I got a fat half of just 32 count charcoal by Zweigart. And then I got Snow Tricks by Little Stitch Girl. I just thought the snowman doing the cartwheel in the bottom right is just adorable to me. And Noteworthy Needle Happy Hour at 4. We pour in case of emergency. Noon is not too soon. It has an alternate for, you could do tea time instead of happy hour if you want. Again, I bought that more of a something to do either maybe as a housewarming gift for somebody with a bar, or maybe eventually a bar for us. I don't know, we'll see. And then I had never heard of this designer before. Apparently she's out of the UK, and since I bought these Saturday, I've actually seen the designer name online, so I guess I just had never picked up on it before. Cotton Pixels Autumn Cat, and it comes with the little silver pumpkin charm, and Flight Through the Night, and that apparently calls for, this little orange leaf is a and also 2 Mill Hill beads, Citron Eyes, Mill Hill Treasure, the matte topaz leaf. This one did not have the leaf in it, but that's okay. I'll either find it or I'll stitch it. And then Stitch Point on Friendly. I did more. So I got Stitch Point on Friendly has cross stitch, needlepoint, and yarn for knitting and crocheting. I was good and did not buy any more yarn. I'm trying absolutely to not buy any more yarn between now and SAP in October. Plenty of yarn. I need to knit more. I bought this piece of 32 or 28 count. I can't remember. I have it in my phone. I think it's 28 count. Fiber on a Whim, Milk and Honey. I have it written down on my phone, so when I put this away, I can put it on the board that I put my stuff in. I got several charts there. Sorry, I keep sticking my face really close. I got Flurry, which is a book by Teresa Kogut that was released at Market that I really like this pattern on the front, and you know, I taught myself out of, and then I realized it was a book with a bunch more patterns in it, although the snowman is still my favorite. Let's see if I can find a picture of, I think that's all 3 of them. Winter Bouquet, and I do like Snow Clown. I like that too. I think that's all of them in there. No, it's not, because there's 9 designs in here. What are the other ones? Be Merry. There's a, I think on the front, maybe. I know I saw a picture somewhere that showed the rest of them. There's 3 more. Happy Birthday, Jesus. Won't do that one. Bearing Gifts and Be Merry. And let's see where are the other 3. Should be another page, maybe. Friends, oh, there we go. Friendship Makes the World Go Round, Welcome, and Snow Family. So, several cute charts there. My favorite is the Snow Angel on the front, probably, but my stack is not going to stay. I'm going to have a avalanche here in a minute, particularly when I gotta get that box out. Boy, an hour and 15 minutes. Let me go. Blackbird Designs, What Remains Is Love. This was an exclusive to, I can't remember, a shop either in Canada or on the west coast of the U.S. I can't remember the name of it. For about a year. It came out at market. I've dithered on it. It was in front of me at Stitch Point, so I caved and bought it. And then they had a clearance place with charts that were 50% off, and it was like maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 charts, but they had Hello from Liz Matthews, The Third Day of Christmas, The Fourth Day of Christmas, and The Fifth Day of Christmas. I had dithered on these, and I've been thinking recently about buying the 6 that were out, but when they had these 3 half off, of course I had to buy them, and now I've bought the other 3 that are out. I went ahead and ordered on 1, 2, 3 Stitch just Saturday night, so they're not here yet. I'm going to wait for all 12 of those to come out. Eventually, I will probably do all of those on 1 piece of fabric, and I will do the samplers instead of the trees. But I don't know. Who knows? By the time I do them, I might decide to do 12 trees and use them as a Christmas display. We'll see. So that is all of my like regular shop. Oop, no, it's not. I take it back. One more thing I got at Stitch Point. Nope, 2 more things I got at Stitch Point. There's 1 more in the bag. Silver Creek Samplers Give Greatly. This is several years old. Where was it? I know I saw a year on it somewhere. 2020. Oh, so it's not as old as I was thinking. Anyway, I had somehow missed that one from 2020. So I just liked that one and bought it. And then this one's in a bag like this because I kitted it up with the floss. I haven't decided on the fabric yet. Rejoice Evermore by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. I don't know that I've ever seen this one before. Is it new? It's new, so it must be a market release. And so either it just didn't catch my eye as a market release, or I don't know. But I found it at Stitch Point and really liked it. So I went ahead and got all the floss for it. They did not have 2 of the flosses, but I picked up a couple of options to be substitutes, and I'll probably, when I start it, will also go through my stash and see if I happen to have, pretty sure I don't have 1 of them, but I might have the other one, and I will just kind of wing it. So I'm trying to decide what my StitchCon start is. I'm planning, I think, to take something to be a StitchCon start, but with the plan that maybe if I find something I want to kit up there and make that my StitchCon start, but I want to have a StitchCon start with me in case I don't fully kit something up there. Like, that's not going to happen. Anyway, this might be my StitchCon start. I haven't decided yet. So that's all from that. And then the only other thing I have, if I can get it out from under here, is today my Stitch Me space box arrived. I had been piling stuff on top of it like an idiot while I was showing you other stuff, so I had to get it out from under there. I'm not going to do like a full-on ooh and ah show over all the stuff that's in here. I'm going to pull out everything that's in here, but I'm going to do it quickly because there are people that are much better at me than at doing unboxings and stuff. So, but if you've ordered the space box and you haven't gotten yours yet, or you haven't opened it yet, then you might want to skip ahead a couple minutes. I will have a timestamp for just my calendar and stuff after this, so you might want to go ahead and skip now to calendar. So this is the space box from XStitch Me. It was a pre-order that was ordered back into last year. I got the Epic box, which is basically the highest level, with 36 count fabric, 1/8 yard cuts. I've taken everything out of the bags, so hopefully there won't be too much crinkling, and I'm going to go in basically the order I pull it out of the box here. So you get, first thing you get to see is the fabric. So got Night Sky, Galaxy, Space Rock, and Gioiello. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I am not generally a sparkly person. This is fun. I will use these for something, but some of these colors I would love for her to do in non-opalescent, because I would really like particularly the Galaxy and the Space Rock. There is a grime guard for 11 by 11 Q-snap with like a space themey fabric. The bag by, there's a card in here that tells you who all the paper makers are, but again, I'm not going to worry about some of the details. A space theme project bag with a alien tag on it. A lot of alien theme. The pattern is Believe, with the UFO taking the person up. Ironically, my husband mostly grew up in Roswell, New Mexico, and at the time he lived there, had no idea that the whole alien thing was a thing, because it wasn't the big, there was the rumors about, you know, the Area 51 and all that stuff, but the theme of going to Roswell to see all the alien stuff was not a thing when he was growing up. And so he had never even really heard of that until when he was in high school, and his family moved to Lubbock, Texas, and he said he was from Roswell, and everybody's like, oh, where the aliens are from? Anyway, maybe he just had his head under a rock. Anyway, but we went back, but when my daughter was graduating high school, we took the kids out to New Mexico to kind of see where my husband grew up and stuff, and went back to Roswell, where he still had some family friends that lived there. And he was laughing because of what used to be his movie theaters, now the UFO museum, and, you know, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so tangent. Got a 50 yard skein of, these are the silks, Jupiter, a 25 yard skein of Galaxy, love that. 10 yard, the rest of these are 10 yards, Nexus, Stardust, totally my colors, Cosmos, love that, and Space Rock, good neutral. Floss drops with the kind of the UFO with the ray going down in some black and purple and blue, big giant ring. I don't always use floss drops, but I've gotten to where I use them a little more. Scissor fob, beaded, made by Brandy, with a little space thing. A parking bobbin, little space thing on it. A make your own needle minder. It's the wood that you stitch, make an alien. A bead minder. So this is like a needle minder that you take this wax paper off and it's sticky, so you can put beads on it on your project, and then you put the paper back on. That's gonna be pretty neat. An alien, another alien needle minder, and this is adorable. This is another little alien. It's a needle case, so it's got a magnet, 2 little magnets, magnet in there to hold needles, with a couple of needles that are larger than I use, but you know. So that's it. So that is the Epic space box from XStitch Me. Her boxes to me are well worth the price for what you get. I have, you know, there are sometimes things that I don't use. You know, I'm not a huge floss drop user, but I really like those acrylic ones. There's sometimes, you know, 1 or 2 things that are not something I use commonly, but it's fun to get something that maybe I don't usually use to try it out and stuff. But anyway, I always feel like I get what I pay for in her box. So I highly recommend your box. I have ordered her Autumn Equinox box. Her Halloween box goes on sale this summer, but I may skip that one because I actually ordered the Forbidden Fiber Coat Halloween box. So I need to be somewhat reasonable. Anyway, so I'm recording this a little bit later to stick in here because I realized there was something out in the living room that I meant to bring in and show y'all, and I forgot until I got done recording and walked out in the living room and saw it. So my husband, I'm looking at the wrong place. My camera, I've got my phone just kind of propped up. I'm not in my usual setup. My husband is a woodworker, and he's gotten a new toy lately, and he's been playing with it, and so he made me something that I haven't figured out a way to put it up in here yet, which will hopefully happen when I do the reorganization that I mentioned at some other point in this podcast. But anyway, I want to show it to you anyway because I thought I'm excited about it, and he's excited about his new toy. So he got a laser thing, and he made me a sign. So with my Criminally Creative logo. And anyway, so like I said, eventually I'm going to find somewhere to put this up. And this was just, he was just using existing files he had to test and stuff. So this is just on like a piece of plywood. Nothing fancy, but anyway, I think it's neat. And eventually, if I had a wall behind me, I'd have it up on the wall. But I don't really have a way to put it like behind me right now while I'm podcasting. But maybe eventually I'll figure it out. So anyway, just want to stick that in here and show y'all that. So that is everything I had to show you. The calendar, I will be at StitchCon Weekend A, which is only a week and a half from now, not even a week and a half from now. Today is Monday. I will leave next Wednesday, June 8th, to drive up to Cincinnati, depending on what time I can get out of work. I'm hopeful that I can get out of work by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon so that I can get there by like midnight or so. But I'm a night owl, so I'm letting the hotel know not to give my room away because I will be there. It might be 2 o'clock in the morning getting there. So I will drive up. It's an 8-hour drive, but I will drive it all Wednesday night because I would rather drive till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and be there than have to stop halfway and get up really early in order to drive the rest of the way because I'm just not a morning person. So that is June 9th through 12th. And then what else? I might be going to the Anything Fiber sale on July 30th. I think that's in Black Mountain this year. They've changed the location. It used to be in Swannanoa at University of the South, but I think the new location is actually in Black Mountain this year. I can't remember. We might, Michelle and Peggy and I are talking about maybe doing that. So, and then I have signed up with Michelle for a quilt retreat in South Boston, Virginia that's been hosted through Salem Stitches in Winston-Salem. In South Boston at Berry Hill Resort the first weekend in August. Excuse me. I'm a sporadic quilter, but the like guest designer is Juicy Juice, who designs in fabric, and it just, it's a excuse to take my sewing machine and actually do some sewing for a weekend. So it has kind of like a project where you work with him to pick out some fabric and stuff, but you don't have to like work on their project the whole time. So I may take a couple of the smaller quilt kits that I have for like, seasonal small quilts that my intention was to make for my office and maybe work on one of those or something. We'll see. Anyway, so I'm almost at an hour and a half. Hopefully it might be a little bit shorter by the time I cut some of my moving around out. I don't know. We'll see. If you hung out this long, I appreciate you sticking with me, even if it took you 5 or 6 chunks to watch it all. And I will, I can't make any promises. I will try to get back hopefully no more than a couple weeks after StitchCon. I should be able to. 2 weeks after StitchCon, my husband will actually be out of town at a woodworker symposium. So maybe I'll try to record that weekend, which is the like 23rd, 4th, 5th, something like that. Anyway, which would still be 3 weekends from now. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you watching. And again, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments. You can always email me at criminallycreative1@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram at Criminally Creative Podcast. If you are a knitter, crocheter, or whatever and want to follow me on be friends with me on Ravelry, I'm Legal Eagle there. And otherwise, I will see you around. If you're going to StitchCon Weekend A, I look forward to meeting you. I'm going by myself and don't really know anybody except a couple of Flosstubers that I watch who don't know me, but I've never had any problem talking to anybody, so I'll figure it out. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye, y'all.